look at something and maybe posit a political angle on this that some of you might laugh at, but just for the sake of argument. Lately, the market's been having a devil of the time getting out of their own way. Take a look at what's going on with the NASDAQ right now, at or near a 7-week low. It's still an appreciable advance. All the markets have, certainly since Barack Obama became president. The economy is better than when he became president. But what if the air is coming out of the balloon? What if signs of a slowdown in China, signs of a slowdown in Europe are sort of puncturing this thing at the worst time for Hillary Clinton? Is a big backer of hers worried? Former California State Treasurer Phil Angelides. Phil, what do you think of that argument? Because Donald Trump has talked and bemoaned a bubble, one that was falsely put in place by easy money and a very accommodating Federal Reserve. He goes on to say that goes back to the Bush years, but that he as a businessman is best suited to deal with that bubble about to burst. What do you think?
Well, I think he's given to hyperbole. I mean, in his rhetoric, I think we've seen he's erratic, he's reckless, he makes big assertions. Yeah, look, Neil, the
and he's
recovery
also
is still
winning
underway.
the Republican nomination.
He's winning the Republican nomination, a long way from there to the White House. And I would just say this, we've been on a path of recovery.
He has taken out 16 of the best and brightest the party has to offer. So I don't know if, not your arrogance, but the arrogance I hear out of the powers that be in the Democratic Party is a bit premature.
Oh, so, Neil, let me just say this. Yes, he took out a divided field of 16 folks. He hasn't faced someone like Hillary Clinton who's tested, who's tough, who's had assaults on her for 25 years. And by the way,
yeah, but he's looking at the devil of a time she has dealing with a 74-year-old socialist, and he's probably saying, suit me up.
Well, Neil,
right.
Nice to be with you again, but let me just say this. I see our primary contest very much like 2008. It's been spirited. It's been building the party here in California, partly in reaction to Trump and partly because of the excitement of our primary. 850,000 new registrations in the first few months of this year, double 2012. I think we're seeing a 2008 model where Hillary Clinton will be our nominee.
Way below 2008.
Well, we're burning. Well, not in California. There's been a surge of registration, I think, in reaction to Donald Trump's assault on Hispanics and women. But I think we're going to come out very united, and there'll be a very clear choice in this election.
By the way, and I'm no apologist for Trump, though. I mean, he avoids this show like the plague, which is fine. But he's not assaulting and insulting Hispanics, illegal Hispanics, illegal.
Neil, I think leaders have to be very careful about how they speak.
Okay,
but let's go back to your question,
I want to go back to
Neil.
this core issue. The enthusiasm, at least for the numbers who have participated, disproportionately favors what's going on the Republican side. That's not exclusively Donald Trump, but it's a lot Donald Trump. Whereas it's hard to make a comparison. Hear me out, I'll let you talk. Where it's hard to make a fair comparison to 2008 because that was such a unique year with the rise of then-Senator Barack Obama. I grant you that. But the enthusiasm is much more so on the right and new registrations on the right than it is on the left. Now, that could change, but how do you think the party should deal with that?
Well, so first of all, Neil, let me just go back to your initial premise. The economy's in recovery. I think what most people are going to want is a steady hand. Look, I'm in business, Neil, and, you know, Donald Trump makes a big thing about unpredictability. And, you know, you may be able to countenance that in a business deal, but people want someone with a steady hand at the helm of the national economy. And when you have polls showing that 1 out of 4 Republicans are scared, that's the word, of Donald Trump, where half the voters are scared, that's not a good formula. And look, not here just in the United States, but when you have someone like David Cameron, who's a conservative leader of our closest allies, saying that if he came to England, he would unite the people of England against him. I mean, you have here an instability factor, both in foreign affairs and economics, that I think is going to be very frightening.
Well,
now, I take nothing for granted.
If I had a dime for everyone who doubted Donald Trump along the way, I'd have a lot of dimes. So you could be proven right in general election. I have no horse in this race. I'm just saying it's made of horses, you know what, a lot of people thought they had to figure it out.
I don't underestimate at all. I want to say this also. He'll be the first nominee of a major party since Dwight Eisenhower never to have been in government. And by the way, he didn't win World War II. If you really want to have historical analysis, go back to John Davis, who got clobbered coming out of a divided Democratic Party
All right.
in
Well, we'll watch
1924.
that. But I urge you to follow the Millard Fillmore emergence. Whoa. Phil, seriously, thank you very much. It's very, very good.
Hey, Neil, it's very good to be with you. We're in for a heck of a choice this November.